Oh, you do? Okay, perfect.
All right, let me just make sure that we're live and we will get going. As we check to see if we're live, what is going on, everyone? What's up? What's up? It is networking night. Awesome. We are live and ready to go. Beautiful. What is going on, everyone? It's Javier, Carlin here, physical therapist and healthcare business coach, here with my lovely fiance as always,
Marissa, registered dietitian, business coach as well.
Awesome. So we're very excited to be here. We have a special training for you on how to network like a pro. How to network like a pro. I know that there are, there's a lot of reservations, especially when you're just starting off a business or when you're growing your business, to reaching out to people, to connecting, especially with people that you don't know. Right? It might be a little bit intimidating and overwhelming sometimes. So being that we know how important networking is and has been for our businesses, we thought it'd be a good topic to bring up in this group specifically. And it was one of the top topics that many of you wanted to learn more about. So hopefully that's still the case. Hopefully you're here to learn some valuable information, but not just learn it, also implement it, which is the most important thing. Okay, and we have a special gift for you as well that's going to help you network like a beast. So let's see who's on. Go ahead and comment team live if you're watching this on live. If you're watching this on the replay, comment team replay so that we know that you were here. I see Megan on. What's going on, Megan? So good to see you. Who else is on live? I see 4 people on live. Go ahead and comment. Let us know who you are. Don't be a stranger. All right. So before we dive in, we'd like to know who has been networking before, right? What has your experience with networking been? What's your biggest challenge when it comes to networking? I know those are a lot of questions, but I want you to start thinking about those things and letting us know, because these are questions that we would like to help you answer, right? So who else is live? Megan's live. Zach's team live. Awesome. Good to have you both here. I see a few more people jumping on. What is up, everyone? Beautiful. So without anything you want to say before we start?
No?
I
think let's get into it.
All right, let's dive in. So I'm going to share my screen with you all here, okay? And let's do this one so you can still see both of us. Yeah.
Very good.
So tonight's training, and Megan says her biggest challenge is forming new relationships in community during COVID. That is a big challenge and one that we can definitely address. I think that that's something that has many of us have had to have a major shift in how we do that. And I think it's going back, quote unquote, to a little bit more normal. But it is still a challenge that many of us face. So we'll dive into that today. Awesome. So today's training is how to network like a pro. Who wants to learn how to network like a pro? I do. All right. So here's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to go over it.
Yeah. So today we're covering what is networking. We're talking about who to network with and how to go about finding these people. We're talking about the Big 45. So that's our little secret here. The Big 45, how to get started networking. I know sometimes it could be a little overwhelming or intimidating, but don't worry, we got you covered on how to just get started. We're talking about our top networking strategies. And these are 3 strategies that we both have used to network and create what's the word I'm looking for?
Relationships.
Relationships. Thank you. It's 9:30 at night.
I know.
Create relationships and build connections.
Awesome. And the last one is we're going to give you access to our networking spreadsheet. So again, very simple, but very effective if you use it. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive in. First question is, what is networking for 50 points?
Networking, plain and simple, is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts.
Awesome.
That is networking?
Yeah, that in its most simplest form. Like, I know there's a big like, oh my God, I have to talk to people, and I have to, do X, Y, and Z, and talk to thousands of people and go into my community, and it can seem daunting, but really, if you break it down, it's this, right? It's just being human. It's just building connections, building relationships, right? And if you lead with that and think about that mentality, and we'll talk about the networking mindset a bit too. It's a piece of cake, walk in the park, right? And of course, you have different personalities. Many people are different. Some people will be nice, some people will not be nice, and that's okay. You just put a smile on and say, "Hey, great meeting you," and walk away, right? So that is what networking is, okay? So we want to go ahead and dive into who to network with and how to find them. Okay. So this is part of what we call the Big 45. Okay. And it's a little bit, it can change depending on what niche you're in. But we like to break it down into 3 different columns. Okay. And the first column is what we call B2B, which is business to business. So your business to a business, anyone else's business that's not yours. Okay. Number 2 is B2P, which is business to provider. So business to provider, we'll go over what the providers are. And then column number 3 is B2C, business straight to the consumer. Okay. So this gives you an idea and it gives you a breakdown. And again, simple, but many people don't do this when they're either starting or growing their businesses. And the best way to know who you're networking with is to write them down, right? So a couple examples of B2B, you want to break those down a bit?
Yeah, so these are examples for us, for registered dietitians and physical therapists. These are places that we've reached out to for B2B. So Orange Theory Fitness, you could do the YMCA, Pilates, dance studios, yoga studios. We've reached out and done stuff at kickboxing studios. So all of these places would probably benefit from a dietitian. Now, they may not all, accept you and want to network with you, and that's okay. But there is a place for a registered dietitian in all of these places, just as there is a place for a physical therapist in all of these businesses as well, right? So you have CrossFit gyms, smaller gyms. Sometimes I've noticed that it is harder to get in with the bigger companies. Like if you try to go to like LA Fitness, right? That's a massive, massive company. Sometimes CrossFits could be a little tricky to get into, and Orange Theory Fitness is a little tricky to get into sometimes. But if you start with the smaller local businesses, they don't have as many like rules and restrictions, and they may be more receptive to networking. So I would say if you want to start with the smaller local businesses first, and then start to branch out into the bigger ones.
Yes, perfect. And to add to that, so for example, Orange Theory Fitness, as an example, right? They do have quite a bit of rules and regulations. And at the time that we were networking with them, they didn't allow us to do anything in-house. However, they were hosting run clubs outside of their studio, and I was actually able to get in with them there. Okay, and it was very beneficial. So just gotta think outside the box sometimes and make it work, right? So so that's B2B, and we'll dive into that a little bit deeper. Okay, B2P is business to provider, and these are providers, right? Other healthcare professionals who have access to your people, right? Who have access to the people that you also want to serve. So what we're going to be doing here is going to come up with a list of providers in the vicinity around you that you can potentially connect with. Now, are there providers out there that have a scarcity mindset that will be like, oh no, I'm not sending any of my patients to anyone? Of course, right? But are there other ones that are happy to connect, happy to network, happy to put the patient's best interests first and foremost, 100%. And in order to get to those, we have to dig through the ones who don't have that abundance mindset. Okay, so providers. Now, we typically, one of our tips is understanding that for providers, it's a long-term game. Okay, the best thing to do when it comes to networking with providers is to go for the ones that are recently starting up their businesses. It could be anywhere from 1 to 7 years, really, because they're also looking to network, also looking to connect with other professionals, right? The ones that have been in the game for a bit longer, they might already have people referring to them or that they're referring to, right? And that's okay. You can still network with them, but it's going to take more time. It might take months or even a year to start getting those patients. So it's not that you don't do it. It's just knowing that this is a long-term game, all right? Then we have B2C, okay? B2C, business to consumers. is any place that your ideal audience, your niche is going to be at, right? So we have soccer clubs if you work with soccer players. We have run clubs if you work with runners. We have Facebook groups, right? Directly to the consumer, directly to your people, right? And there's an abundance of those, right? Support groups in person, health fairs, right? These are all places that you can go to where you're having conversations directly to the people that you want to serve. Okay, so these are ideas of who you can network with. Okay.
Yep. And now how to find them.
All right. So how
to find them.
How do we find them? So how do we find them?
So this might be the tricky part, right? You may, off the top of your head, you may be able to fit maybe a couple names in the business, a couple in the providers, and a couple in the consumer, right? And you may be like, okay, great, I have like 6 people off the bat, but there is more. There's a ton more. And the best way to find these people, number one, is simply go online. Grab your smartphone, go to your laptop, go to Google, and literally type in businesses or gyms or dance studios or yoga studios, whatever you're going for, and type in the city where you are. Super simple. Providers, you could type in dentists, you could type in massage therapy clinics in Miami, Florida, podiatrists in Dallas, Texas. Just use the internet to help you. And then in terms of the consumers, what I find really helpful is most of the time your city has a website. So like we're in City of Clearwater, I can Google City of Clearwater website and it pops right up. And there I can get a bunch of information about what events are going to be taking place in the community and see if maybe I can get a spot or a booth or a table at one of those. And then the last tip that I have for you for consumers is if you're going for example, soccer clubs or run clubs, and if you're not a part of one, maybe you have a friend or a family friend whose kid plays soccer, or your cousin plays soccer, or your best friend is a runner. So ask your peers, ask your friends, ask your family members, ask people in your community, and put yourself out there and get involved, because there's a lot more out there than we think. It may take a little bit of digging, but you can definitely fill up these lists.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would love to know, like, who's been your favorite person to network with so far, right? Who's been that one primary person that you've loved to build a relationship with, that you've gotten maybe the best results with? Go ahead and put it in the comment section below. You can either be specific with the type of who it is and what they do, or you can say businesses, providers, consumers, right? I would say that our best success would be straight to the consumer many times, straight to the consumer. Businesses I would put at second. It's just faster. It's faster, right? And providers at third for us, which you would think the opposite, right? So I love talking straight to the consumers because they're the ones that end up making the decision. And when they make the decision to go and see you, they're much more likely to follow through and be committed to what you're going to help them solve, right? So that's who to network with, and that's how to find them. All right. So here is the strategy. Okay. The strategy is what we call the Big 45. Okay. So what's the Big 45? I'm glad you asked. All right. So the Big 45, again, is as the name implies, it's 45 people, 45 people or businesses, right, in total. And what we do is, and we're going to show you like how do we actually do this and strategize behind it. So we get 15 businesses, right? We get 15 businesses that make sense to partner up with for our specific avatar. We get 15 providers that we would like to work with, and we get 15 consumers, right? And what this essentially is looking for 15 Facebook groups, clubs, health fairs that you can be a part of and plug yourself into. Okay. So this is what the actual spreadsheet might look like. And as you can see, the first list here is business to business, right? So 15 is a number, right? We like to have that number there. Obviously you can do less, you can do more, but essentially what we're doing here, it's a very simple process, but this is something that I would recommend you bookmark and keep as a bookmark there so you can easily access. But for the first list here, we have business, right? So you list down all of the businesses that could potentially have your ideal customer. Okay, so you would list out all those businesses. Okay, the next thing you do is you list out all of their emails. Okay, you want to go to their website. If they have an email on their website, great. If they don't, it's okay. There are other ways to reach out to them, right? So for example, some of them will only have one of those website emails where you send them an email through the website, which I hate, but you can still send it through there. All right, so emails, phone number, website, their contact information, right? One thing that for some reason is missing here, you want to write some notes about the company, right? We call it info and intel, meaning you want to gather some stuff about them as a company, what their mission is, who they work with, what their goals are, how long they've been in business, because these are all conversation points. So you want to be as prepared as possible before you start these conversations with them. All right. So what happens next? Okay. So it's been said that it takes about 5 to 7 touch points to make someone from a lead, / prospect to a client. It is no different when you're networking, right? I like to think about it in the same way, right? At least, some of them might be sooner, but on average, 5 to 7 follow-ups before you're able to set something up, right? Whether it's a workshop, whether it's a set of injury screens, right? I want your mind to be prepared. Like, this is not going to happen the first time. And if it does, awesome. That is amazing, but it shouldn't be the expectation. Okay. So what we do, okay, is, as an example, follow-up number 1 could be an email. Okay. Follow-up number 2, and this could happen at the same time as follow-up number 1, like them on social, like their stuff on social. And we'll dive into this a little bit deeper. Follow-up number 3, engage in message. Perhaps you send in a second email, and then you continue whatever your follow-ups are, you put them on there. And then what happens is, in that spreadsheet, the really neat part about all of this is you can write notes. So you write notes about what you spoke about. So the next time you follow up, there's some context to the conversation. Okay. So that's essentially what you would do. You would put the address there as well in case you'd like to pay them a visit in person, which I always highly recommend you do at some point. All right. And essentially what happens with the Big 45 is this. Okay. So you're like, man, that's a lot of people to reach out to, Javier and Marissa. Yeah, I know. How much do you want to grow your business? But no, let's break this down. So we have 15 in each, right? 15 in business to business, 15 business to provider, and 15 B2C, right? Business to consumer. So how do we manage all of that, right? Is probably your next question. So what we do is we get the first 5 from we get the first 5 from each category, right? B2B, B2P, B2C. And what we do is we reach out to those 5 first. So that would be 15 total. All right. We reach out to them for at least 2 to 3 weeks of consistent follow-up, right? And trying to get their attention and trying to engage with them in conversation. Sometimes it might be a little bit less. Sometimes it might be a little bit more. But on average, you want to spend that much amount of time trying to get in contact with them, right? So what we do next is we spend that time with them. And out of those 5 from each category, we think, you know what, at least 2, let's say 2 of them out of those first 5, 2 of them actually are moving the conversation forward. They're engaging. We're building a relationship. The conversation is moving forward. Let's go ahead and keep those 2. And the other ones, let's say they have been unresponsive or one said not right now. What we do is we swap them for the next 3 in line, right? So now we have 2 solid ones that are moving forward. We've swapped the other 3 for 3 more. And it doesn't mean we don't go back to the other ones. It just means that maybe it wasn't the right time, right? So that's totally fine. So we swap them out for the other 3. Right, we go through the same process, still maintaining these relationships here, and then we get, let's say, after a couple more weeks, 2 of them stay. Right, so now we have 4 solid relationships that we maintain, and then you do the same process again. You lock in a 5th one. If you're able to do that and get 5 solid relationships built from each category, and you're able to maintain those relationships, and there's referrals coming in from those relationships, you're set. Okay, you are set when it comes to the networking process, right? Is that all you want to depend on? Absolutely not, because you still can't control it, right? In the sense of you don't know what might happen to the businesses. You don't know when they're going to refer to you. It's a hope game, essentially. There's more control on B2B than there is B2P. B2P is straight hope. I hope they send me a patient. I hope that they send me an eval today, right? I hope they send me a client. And you can build a relationship all you want and you can wait for it, but you just never know when that fax is going to come in, right? So B2B, you definitely have more control, right? Where you're able to do workshops, get people to sign up for your stuff, get people straight to booking, conversations with you. Now, B2C, I love even more because you're talking to the people, right? That's the fastest way to do it. You control all of that. Okay. All of the conversation, at least. So yeah, that's how we work the Big 45 list. And I see a few questions coming in. We'll go ahead and answer them at the end if that's okay with everyone. Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that pretty much covers the list.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So who wants your very own pro networking sheet like this one over here? Just comment sheet. We're going to give you this. We love to provide a ton of value in this group. So go ahead and comment sheet, and we'll make sure that you have this list delivered to you by our awesome group specialist, Elma. So look out for your message request. Look out for Elma's message. She's going to send you this sheet tonight so you can get access to your own sheet, and you'll be good to go, ready to network like a pro. All right. So go ahead and comment sheet, and we'll get this sent over your way. If you don't comment sheet, you're not getting it. All right. Megan says sheet. Awesome. You got it, Megan. Zach says sheet. You got it, Zach. Awesome. Perfect. So next.
How to get started with networking. So This may be a little bit confusing or overwhelming or frustrating. So what do you do? Okay, you did your research, you went on Facebook, you went on Google, you went on Yelp, you found all your B2B, your B2P, your B2C. What do you do next? What is your very first step? So we're going to dive into that. So the very first thing that we recommend doing is sending an email to them. Okay, in your email, you want to say who you are, what you do, are you a registered dietitian, physical therapist, why you love to connect, right? Always bring it back to them, why you want to connect with them, what you love about their company. Do a little bit of research, guys. Don't just take a standard message and just send the same exact message to everyone. Make it personal. If you know people's names in the company, if you can find maybe some trainers at the gym, if you can find the owner, try to make it as personal as possible. That way they know you really took the time to write this letter and that you're serious and you're sincere. Because people like that. People want genuine people. People want people who are sincere and really care. So make sure you say a little bit about what you love about the company, or if you're even a member, say, I did Orange Theory Fitness. If I was reaching out to Orange Theory Fitness, I would write something positive about my experience there. And last but not least, you always want to say how you can benefit their members and why you want to help. You always want to phrase what's in it for them, not that, I'm here to take clients and get clients and make money. That's not the way that you want to phrase this. So as an example, if we're going into Orange Theory Fitness, as a registered dietitian, if we get the people eating really healthy, they're going to have a lot more energy. They're going to see results from Orange Theory Fitness a lot faster if their nutrition is on point. They're going to maybe run faster, row harder, be able to push more weight in the weight room. So all the benefits for their members, right? For physical therapy, maybe you won't have so many injuries, because what happens when people get injured at gyms? They typically don't come, they cancel their memberships, they fall off track, they don't see progress, and they quit. Well, for a physical therapist, if Javi can come in to this CrossFit gym or Orange Theory and do little exercises and movements and give a little bit of therapy to keep their members in the gym longer, well, that means that Orange Theory has more business, makes more money, their classes are full, and everyone's happy, okay? So that's an example of how you always want to phrase things about what's in it for the company. So you want to send that introductory email first. Then sometimes people are going to respond to you. Other times your email might just get lost. Who knows? But that's why you have 15 businesses, 15 providers, and 15 consumers to follow up with. So then what you're going to want to do is, if you don't hear back from them within the first 48, maybe give them 72 hours if it's a weekend. If you don't hear back from them, you can send another email. Okay, don't copy and paste the exact same thing. Do it a little bit different, okay? Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to follow them on social media. You can actually do this first, even if you want. Find them on social media. Follow their accounts. Leave positive, happy, genuine comments, okay? Like their posts, engage, Send direct messages, because who knows, sometimes that email may go into a separate folder, but sometimes your DM will go through. You never know. Okay. So don't be afraid to reach out on multiple channels to people. Okay. And then last but not least, go in person. This may seem a little bit scary or intimidating, but see if you can call ahead, see if they got any of your emails, see if you can speak to one of the managers or people in charge, or see if you can find a time where one of the managers or people in charge is going to be there. Because typically what we find is if we go to a gym, for example, and it's just like the trainers, they don't really have a say. They're always going to have to refer back to their manager or their supervisor. So try to go when there's either a manager or someone in charge there that you can speak directly to. Schedule a time to meet with them if possible. That way they know that you're coming in, they're prepared for the conversation, they're not in the middle of class or switching classes. And again, always state what is in it for them and never state what is in it for you.
Awesome. Perfect. And Megan, I saw your question pop up. So we'll definitely get that question answered for you towards the end. Awesome. Sweet. So the next thing, okay, is once you're doing this, you're going to go ahead and get, one of these 3 responses. One of them might be, yes, let's make it happen. Let's move forward. I want to do the workshop. Let's chat, right? This is where you say nice or it's nice, right? Set up a time to meet and brainstorm ideas. Okay. So basically that's what you would do after that person responds to your offer. And we'll talk about what that is. Number 2, not right now, right? So if they say not right now, again, be polite, thank them for their time and move on to the next person on your Big 45 list. Again, there are 44 other chances for people to say yes. So when someone says not right now, the other thing that I would add is make sure that you put a reminder either on your phone or you ask them, hey, I totally understand you must be really busy, growing your business and doing X, Y, and Z. When should I follow up with you? When would be a good time? Is this something that you'd be interested in doing in the future? Yes. Awesome. When would be a good time to reach out to you? How about in a couple of months? Cool. Does November 5th work? Yes. Perfect. Right. And then that, because not right now means, hey, maybe later. That's essentially what they're saying, right? I'm too busy right now. I have a lot of things going on, not a priority. But no, not right now is never a no, right? It's just a no, not right now. So the third response, no, thank you, is totally fine too. Okay, again, this is where you say, hey, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you just taking the time to respond to this email. I really look forward to, I really, wish you the best and the most success in everything that you're doing. Feel free to reach out if you ever change your mind. That's it, right? 3 responses. All right. Some people might say, stop bothering me, and that's fine too. Okay. So that's it. Those are the 3 responses. Okay. Now we're going to dive into a little bit of our top networking strategies. Okay, so we'll dive into that. So this one, for example, injury screens, one of my personal favorites. I remember this day specifically. I had 12 injury screens, and out of the 12 people, 8 of them, it was six or 8 of them became clients. Okay, so that's a high number. In about an hour, this was about an hour and a half of work. I was doing about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes per each one. So anywhere from an hour and a half to like 2 hours that I was there. And I got a solid number of clients from this, right? So what does this look like? 15 minutes each, Q&A, right? I give them a possible diagnosis. So they'll tell me what's going on. I'll whip out my iPad and be like, hey, listen, based on what you've told me, like, these are a few things that I think might be happening. Do you mind if I do a quick test? Right. And then I'll dive into, hey, based on, I know this was only 5 minutes, but based off what we found so far, I think it might be either this or this, right? I'm leaning more towards this, and then I'll say, this is probably what you should do next. And then what I'll say is, hey, if you're interested, we can dive into this a little bit deeper. We do what's called a discovery session where we dive into this a bit deeper. Spend about 20 to 30 minutes together additionally, and we figure out, what's going on and see if we can truly help you with this. Is that something you'd be interested in doing, right? Coming into the clinic or me coming over to your place, right? Depending on what type of business you have. And they'll say yes, right? Some of them might say, hey, do you take insurance, right there on the bat? It's like, hey, yeah, whether you do or you don't, you say yes or no, but hey, this one's totally free. And I'd just like to give you some more clarity and spend some more time together, right? And that's how you get to move them forward, right? So 15 minutes makes it easy to be like, hey, I wish I could spend more time, but I have someone else waiting for me. If you want more information, like, let's meet again, right? And what I do is I get everyone to sign up, put their emails, put their phone numbers on a list, right? And then even if they say no, I still follow up with them. Okay. I still put them in my email list and continue to follow up with them. All right. Next.
So tablings and coupons. This is something that I did at the kickboxing gym. It worked out really well. Don't mind the Mickey ears. It was Disney themed night. So I was just trying to be, one with the team. And it was actually a lot of fun that night. But something that I did and did quite often there was tablings and tastings. So a couple times a month, I would go and I would get some food and nutrition related, of course. And I would set up my little booth there and I would create some worksheets and handouts. So this one specifically was all about hydration. So I had like frozen grapes and I was showing them like different ways that they could flavor their water because some people don't like plain water. And I had some handouts there and things like that. The gym also let me give away one of their water bottles for the night. So that was awesome. And the thing about this was it was great because number one, like people love to eat. They love free samples. They love free food. They had just finished kickboxing, so they were super thirsty. So I knew they wanted some hydration. And what was I say about this one? The free water bottle. Like that was awesome. So if they come up to my booth, they would have a chance to win the free water bottle, right? So biggest things here would be number one, make sure that you're setting up the booth during peak hours. So they had a couple 5 a.m. classes and they had a couple night classes. Overall, I found that going to the night classes, they had a lot more people, a lot more engagement, a lot more people wanted to come up to the booth versus the 5 a.m. class. A lot of the people were just trying to get in and get out because they had to go shower and go to work. So make sure that you're setting up your booth during peak hour. I had incentives for people to come to my booth. If I just stood there with a blank booth, like sitting at a table, probably no one would come up and talk to me. So I did have to kind of lure them in a little bit with that free food, free water bottle, to kind of lure them in, right? And then the other thing that I did was I had sign-up sheets there. So everyone that came up to the booth talked to me. It could be about anything. I just wanted to break the ice somehow. I had a spreadsheet there and it just had name and email address. And I said, if you just write your name and your email address, you're going to be entered into a drawing at the end of tonight to win the water bottle. And I got about 10 people. And there were only about 10 to 15 people in the class. There were small classes. So almost every single person came and gave me their email address and their name. So I was able to collect that information from them. So that was awesome. And then we did give away the water bottle at the end of the night. And then the other thing that I did with this gym in particular was I did these coupons, and every member that joined the gym, the kickboxing gym automatically gave everyone like a welcome packet with just some information in there. So I made a coupon for them. So if you see in the bottom right hand corner, it says complimentary nutrition discovery visit for new ILKB members. I said who this coupon was for. I had it was a free 30-minute discovery visit, essentially, where they would come to my office. We would see what's going on with their nutrition. And if they needed any help, I would see if they'd want to become a client of mine. And then up top there is my nutrition events calendar. So every month I always had a calendar. They posted it up in the gym. So we knew, so people knew when I was going to be there. And hopefully I would get a couple more people then. So
awesome.
This worked out really well. Definitely got some clients from doing these tablings and tastings.
Perfect. I love it. So let's go ahead and raffles. So I love raffles. Who doesn't love a good raffle, right? If you love raffles, put raffles in the comment section. So with raffles, okay, you can see that little blue box there. I completely forgot what I was actually raffling off. I think it was a book and actually a few. It was a discovery visit. It was actually an initial evaluation that we were raffling off with a report of findings, a movement screen, 15-minute massage, all these nice things, right? So that was the prize. I think there were a few other things that we added to that, but we made the prize irresistible. Okay, so what we did was we asked for name, for email address, and phone number. Okay, and guess what? This is my favorite part of this whole process, right? Let's say, before you think I'm unethical. let's say there's probably like 50 or more people in that room right there. So let's say I'll just make it easy. All 50 of them sign up for the raffle. Okay, let's say all 50 of them sign up for the raffle, and they knew that what they were going to win from this raffle was our health secrets book that we wrote together. It was a initial evaluation, right, to figure out what's going on, what's going wrong with whatever problem they were having, and they all sign up for the raffle for that specifically. We can then come to the conclusion that either them or someone they know might have something going on, right? So what we do with these raffles is we get everyone to sign up, okay, everyone to fill out their cards. There is one big winner, okay, but guess what? Everyone else, let's say all 49 other people are runner-ups, okay? So guess what everyone who's a runner-up gets? They get a discovery visit for free, okay? And we sell that thing like if we were selling, I don't know what, but if we were selling hot dogs on the side of the road, I don't know. But everyone wins. And the reason that this isn't unethical is because if you have 50 people who are in pain and who wanted to win this thing because of a raffle, why not just help them anyway, right? Why not help them with a free discovery visit where you can truly help them make the decision to get the help that they need anyway, right? So everyone wins and no one has to know it, okay? All right, so that's the beautiful thing about raffles. They work extremely well. We didn't add it here, but what I did was I put those raffle boxes in one was funny, Jupiter Donuts, a couple of gyms, and a third location that slipped my mind right now. But we put these raffle boxes in different businesses that we had networked with, and those things were full, right? So what we did was we called them and said, hey, you've just won whatever they won that was on the raffle box. We collected those raffle boxes every 2 weeks, and we made phone calls, right? These are a few out of the box things that you can do, and they work really, really well. Right. So hope that gives you some ideas. Okay. So let's go ahead, and we have a few questions to answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions. Okay. So let's go ahead and answer those questions for you now. But before we do, if you want to join us for the in-depth training where we show you how to integrate and how we integrate ourselves into our Big 45 even further, I would love for you to comment workshop down below. We have a workshop happening starting on November 2nd through November 6th, a 5-day workshop where we're going to show you a strategy that if you implement and partner up through what we call integrated marketing, you'll be able to maximize the relationships that you have with these partners that you're networking with. All right. So if you want that in-depth strategy on how we integrate ourselves with these companies, go ahead and comment workshop down below, and we're going to send you the invite to join the free 5-day workshop. All right. It's going to blow your minds. I promise you. Just be there. Okay. So what questions do you have? Go ahead and comment workshop, and we'll dive into your questions. So let's go ahead and see. Let's start from the beginning. So for those who are live right now, team live or team replay, go ahead and leave your questions down below, and also make sure to comment workshop. Okay, so let's see. Megan says, biggest challenge forming new relationships in community during COVID. So that's not necessarily a question, but it is a pretty big challenge. So again, we have to be very creative with what we're doing. For example, right, F45, one of the gyms that I partnered up with, we weren't feeling comfortable doing an in-person workshop quite yet. This was maybe a month or two ago. So we did a virtual workshop instead, right? So this is how you can navigate those types of situations. Hey, don't worry about it. I've actually done virtual workshops. They work really well. We could actually go into your Facebook group, ask people what they would love to learn, and I could even just do it in there. Right, you can definitely maneuver these types of deals. And also, you ask the people, hey, I know times are tough right now. What can I help you with? How can I help you? Right? How can I help your members learn how to be healthier during this time, so that when they come back to the gym, or if they're in the gym right now, so they don't get sick and drop off. right? Because we're everyone here is a healthcare professional. There's things that we know that the public doesn't, so we can tie those things in, right? You have to be creative with that. Anything else you want to add to that, or?
I honestly, going online is the best. Everyone's been going virtual, and I even did it with the kickboxing gym. I went into their Facebook group, and every 2 weeks I was doing a live on whatever nutrition topic they wanted. I was like, what do you need help with right now? Especially during COVID, nutrition was obviously very crazy. So I did the same thing, take it online.
Yeah, totally. So let's see. Zach's question: when networking, what are you offering other businesses? Referrals? Great question. So it depends on who it is and what I can actually do for them. So for example, other businesses, if they're gyms, I am offering them free valuable information in the way of a workshop, right? A presentation, injury screens. And I let them know, listen, like I know that one of the biggest things for your business is retaining your clients. And I get that. And I just wanted to know, this is something that we've done for other local businesses that they've loved. Would you be interested in us, or would it be beneficial to your members if we did a workshop on, X, Y, and Z thing? Is that something that you think would be helpful to them? And they say, yeah, that'd be great. Awesome. Right. So one of the things you can offer to other businesses is that, right? I know I didn't personally do this, but I know that any business that has employees, one of their big things is that their employees don't get hurt, right? Workers' comp, etc. So going into businesses, any type of business that has employees, and going in there, bringing lunch and doing a little workshop for them is also beneficial. And their whole thing is, well, yeah, I want my employees to keep on working. I don't want them to get injured because that means that's coming out of my pocket. Yes, let's make it happen, right? So it depends. Sometimes you have to think about, well, what's in it for them, right? What could happen if I don't deliver my services or my information to their people, right? What's the cost of it to them? So you always lead with what's in it for them. For providers, I'll give you a little hack, Zach. That kind of rhymes. So I'll give you a little hack for providers. The cool way to flip the script is by saying, and that's another little pun, flip the script, but I didn't even think about it. But anyway, the way to flip the script with providers is, how many providers and physicians, et cetera, are so used to us like asking for patients from them. You tell them, hey, my patients trust me, right? I do direct marketing. I get patients directly through B2C, right? B2B. They come to me a lot of the times first through my methods. I am looking for the top orthopedic surgeon, the top podiatrist in the city that I can refer my patients to, right? Would you be interested in having a conversation about what that would look like, and would you be interested in getting patients, essentially, right? And when you do that, it's the opposite now. It's like, and again, this only works for those who are in business. If they're in a hospital setting, they probably don't care, to be quite honest. And those that are newer in business, you have a higher chance of it working earlier on, right? So you really want to take it to the next level. I'll give you some insider secrets. You have a laminated sheet with your top 5 physicians. You got one for podiatry, ortho, right? Even if you have to make it up initially, if you don't have any, I'm a little, I like to bend the rules a little bit, but there aren't any rules on people on a sheet, right? So have a sheet, say, hey, these are the top providers that I've been referring to. I would love to add you to that list. Is that something you'd be interested in? Boom. Right?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Who's going to say no to that? Right? So Megan asks, can you be a little bit more specific about what you should put in email number 2? So Megan, you are in the Healthcare Business Accelerator coaching program. So I believe we already gave you those templates for the email scripts to send out to different businesses, providers, etc. So let's go ahead and search for that. If you don't have it yet, we'll get it to you ASAP, but that dives into it a lot more. Okay. Let's see. Zach, so do you offer them the free discovery visit in an email to them? I offer that free discovery visit in everything that I talk to them about. Emails, in person, phone, anywhere. That's what I'm offering to them initially. I like to slow down the, both of us, as a dietitian and physical therapist, we both like to slow down the conversation as much as possible. Spend as much time with your potential client as possible before they actually give you money, and they'll be more likely to give you money. Okay. That's called providing a ton of value. All right. So that's what you would do. So yeah, it could be the email as many times as they need to see it to click that button. That same person that doesn't click the button to schedule a discovery visit with you that first day, that first month, those first 3 months will do it, or has a higher chance of doing it after a year of getting your emails. Okay. So yeah, definitely offer it everywhere. Megan, what topics do you find work well for workshops, injury prevention? Megan, that's a great question. I asked the audience. So literally inside of the F45 group, I can pull up the post now, but I'm not going to. I can post it later if you guys want. But in the F45 Facebook group, their group that I was able to work my way into, they allowed me to put a poll up. I reached out to the member, the admins of the group, say, hey, is it cool? I know we're doing this workshop. Is it cool if I see what people are interested in learning about? And I did a poll. I got some responses, and then I did another post, and I was like, hey, these are the top 2. Which one would you like to learn more about? And what questions do you have about either? Right? So you're literally asking them what they're interested in, and then you do that. Right? That's the best way to find out what works best for workshops, is by doing what they want. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Whoops. Comment workshop. Let me stop sharing my screen. And we are all done. We're all done for tonight. So everyone, thank you so much for being here tonight. Really appreciate you guys. I hope you got a ton of value from tonight's conversation. If you did, go ahead and comment value in the comment section below, so that we know that someone is getting something from this, so we can keep on doing it, right? We do this for you. We already know the information. We don't need to share it, but we do because we love you. So go ahead and comment value if this has been helpful. Look out for that message from Elma, our group specialist, to send you the sheet if you requested the sheet, and the link to the workshop if you are attending the workshop, which I highly recommend. Okay, highly recommend. So hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Peace out.